Hey, good morning and welcome to Canberra Airport and another video on ENZ Travels. And today I'm going to be travelling on Virgin Australia from Canberra to Sydney, and this flight is operated by Link Airways. This is the first flight of 15 flights over the next 3 days, and I'll be covering all of those flights in videos over the next few weeks. So I'm already checked in, my bag is checked through to Brisbane, but today we'll just be covering the Canberra to Sydney flight in this video, so let's go and check out the Virgin Australia Canberra lounge. If you haven't already checked it out, I suggest before you go any further in this video, go back and check out my previous experience with Link Airways operating for Virgin Australia. That was on their inaugural service. The link is on the screen now. There were a few issues in that flight, and it will be very interesting to see if Link have sorted them out. So I have updated my camera gear since my last video. This is my first time really using this new setup, so hopefully by the time I get to the exciting flights on this trip, I will have actually figured it all out. Anyway, heading up to the Virgin Australia lounge on the escalator now. The lounge at Canberra Airport was quiet this morning, and I opted for my usual helping of scrambled eggs with bacon, along with a flat white and an OJ, whilst overlooking the airfield. The lounge at Canberra does provide some fantastic airfield views. Just left the Virgin Australia lounge at Canberra Airport. Boarding's a little bit delayed today. We're due to leave in about 5 minutes time, but I've only just started boarding. That's it. It's only a very small aircraft, of course. SAAB's only got 34 seats, so it should be pretty quick and we'll be on the way. Boarding was called a bit behind schedule this morning, and we made our way all the way down the walkway to Bay 2, which is probably the furthest bay from the terminal at Canberra Airport. And everything seemed normal until about now, when I noticed everyone was stopping and there was a pilot walking back towards us.
Hey everyone, we're really sorry about the inconvenience, but we told them that we can't board just yet. We're just waiting on a flight attendant to get here. So we unfortunately do have to get you to wait upstairs. So I'll take you back up. So sorry about the inconvenience, guys. It looks really bad, but unfortunately we did tell them multiple times we can't board yet. It will be delayed slightly, yeah. We're going to get away as soon as possible.
Bit of a false start there. What it sounds like is the flight attendant has gone sick. They're waiting on the reserve flight attendant and they haven't made it to work yet, which is fair enough, it happens. But poor communication by the ground staff, by the sounds of it, or between the crew and the ground staff at the very least.
20 minutes later.
We've got take 2 boarding our SAAB 340 up to Sydney. About half an hour delayed this morning. Hopefully we can make some of that time up, because my connection in Sydney is now down to about 1 hour. Maybe a little bit less by the time we get going, but fingers crossed it's nice and fast. Taking me to Sydney today was this SAAB 340B Plus VHVEQ, delivered to Corporate Air, the parent company of Link Airways, in April of 2022, and entering service with Link less than a month prior to this flight. It has 34 economy seats. Interestingly, this aircraft was meant to come to Australia back in 2011, but the company it was destined for, Vincent Aviation, went bankrupt before it took delivery of this aircraft.
Minutes time. The flight down 40 minutes to Sydney. Good weather conditions en route to Sydney. Possible shower. Expect maybe some light bumps on the descent and approach, and forecast 18 degrees. We'll get back to you at the top of the descent with the latest conditions and an updated arrival time. And meanwhile, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Thank you.
Purely for the strangeness of it, I'm going to let the full safety demo play out on this flight. Enjoy, and let me know if you could figure out what to do in an emergency.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please, as I demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft. There's 4 emergency exits on this aircraft. tie to these exits. Should you require any oxygen throughout the flight, it will be distributed by myself. In the unlikely event of a water landing, there is a life jacket located under your seat. If instructed, remove it from its pouch and put it over your head. Pull the tape around your waist and pull it to tighten it. To inflate your life jacket, pull firmly down with the two red toggles. Either side of your life jacket has a mouthpiece to inflate or deflate. There's a light and there's a whistle. If you should need to attract any attention, please do not inflate your life jacket until leave the aircraft. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, there's a safety card in your seat pocket. Please take a moment to read through it as it contains important safety information such as the brace position. As we are nearing our departure, please ensure your seatbelt is securely fastened. Your seatbelt is in an upright position, your tray table is stowed away, and all window blinds are raised. Your baggage has to be placed under the seat in front of you or in the overhead lockers. Thank you.
So I don't know what was going on there. It was incredibly hard to follow, and I'd be concerned for any first-time flyers if there was an emergency on board this flight. But anyway, out of the way and on the way to Sydney.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for flying with Virgin Australia today. Flying us today is Captain Stefan Lebon and First Officer Andrew Butt. And my name is Carmen and I will be looking after you in the cabin. Just a quick note on your electronic devices. Please ensure you have selected flight mode, as they might interfere with navigational system of the aircraft. Thank you.
Takeoff today from Canberra's runway 35 was 44 minutes behind schedule at 8:34 a.m. After takeoff, we almost immediately pierced through the low clouds in Canberra, and we were greeted by a beautiful sunny morning for flying. Our flight today took us along the standard Canberra to Sydney turboprop route, overhead Goulburn and the Blue Mountains, cruising at 13,000 feet. It was quite a smooth flight today, and as you can see, on top of the clouds, it was certainly a beautiful morning for flying low and slow. The seats on this SAAB 340 were modern and, if I'm honest, incredibly uncomfortable. Legroom was very tight in row 3 and the tray table was no match for my large sized gut. In the magazine box there was the Link Airways in-flight magazine, an air sickness bag and a safety card which I hope everyone on board took the opportunity to read after the safety demonstration. Each seat also has a reading light and individual air vent, as well as a flight attendant call button, and all windows on this aircraft are fitted with window shades, something you don't find on all turboprops. As we near the top of the climb near Goulburn, I took the time to appreciate just how beautifully presented this aircraft was. There was no oil all over the engine like you do find on a lot of turboprops, and the propeller spinner was beautifully shiny. Just look at that reflection of the rest of the aircraft. Meanwhile, the flight attendant was preparing the service, and I was getting ready for a repeat of the dreaded protein choc cookie served on the inaugural flight. Thankfully, however, on this flight we were served with quite a tasty nut bar along with a cup of water. The bar was incredibly nice compared to the inaugural flight's choc chip protein cookie. So after the service was completed, the flight attendant proceeded to stand at the front of the cabin with her arms crossed, just staring down the aisle, which I thought was incredibly strange behaviour given she had a curtain she could have stood behind in private. I should also make note that at no stage during the flight did the flight attendant wear a face mask or police other passengers wearing face masks, despite it being a mandatory requirement on board all flights within Australia. Our approach into Sydney today involved some pretty significant track shortening this morning, basically descending over the Royal National Park before turning left directly onto final for runway 34 left at Sydney, landing at 9:08 AM, just 18 minutes late, after a flight time of 34 minutes, slightly shorter than what the captain had forecast. Thank you. See you later. Now, probably my biggest complaint from the inaugural flight was that we were taken to a gate which ejected us from the secure area, meaning I had to re-clear security before my onward flight. However, today it was great to see we were dropped at gate 47 at the Virgin Australia end of Terminal 2, just like we were supposed to on the inaugural flight, according to Corporate Air, who commented on my video back in March. Fantastic to see this issue was rectified. Okay, so we've just arrived in Sydney. Take a mask off now, we don't need masks in the terminal. Just arrived in Sydney on board Virgin Australia, operated by Link Airways. That flight attendant was interesting. She spent half the flight with her arms folded, just staring down the cabin. Very, very, very strange behaviour. Anyway, if you've liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment and subscribe, and check back next week for part 2 of my trip, where I will be flying from Sydney to Brisbane on Virgin Australia in business class.